Peak of Evil is very curious about our MC status window, but our MC is not interested telling him about his stats or showing him his stats. Kajinu gets ready to go to the next level because he is done with the tutorial. Peak of Evil asks, can he follow him? The next level will be the room of choice and training. This is where everyone comes to after they finish their training. Here, they will select a weapon and class that suits them the best. On his previous life, our MC chose Mage class. The reason behind it, because he was a mana type. But this time, he will choose something different, and he will try to choose everything. The main reason behind it is because of his stats all arounder. Chajinu goes around saying to the system to bring out some targets so he can practice. He uses the bow with perfect accuracy and destroys all the target in one go. Chajinu then tells the system to generate targets that can attack. But the system warns him, you have not selected a class yet. Attacking targets may be too dangerous. Chajinu smiles and says, I don't care. The system generates some robots, humanoid robots, that can attack. All of the robots start attacking our MC at the same time. Our MC dashes to the side and uses his bow with perfect accuracy again. He hits every single one of the robots perfectly on their head, destroying them. The system generates more robots, and these ones almost grab him. All of a sudden, a slash cuts them into half. Chajinyuk is now using a sword. He tells the system to bring on even stronger opponents. The system spawns even bigger humanoid robots that are much stronger than the previous. Chajinyuk jumps on the robot and uses the spear to stab right on his head, and then uses some dagger to destroy the ones that are behind him. All of a sudden, the system spawns targets that can shoot and fly at the same time. He jumps behind the big golem to avoid the shots from the target. The system tells our MC that these are the most dangerous targets that can be spawned on this floor. Chajinuk smiles when he hears this, then says, if those are the strongest, then I have to use my specialty. And that is being a mage. And he screams, Mage Arrow. He destroys all the target in one shot. He thinks to himself that all around stat is very, very useful, because all the weapon he used, it looks like he was using those weapons for years. All of a sudden, the system tells him he has cleared an achievement. Because he used all of the weapons in the room to fight, an achievement has unlocked Call All Master, and that achievement gave him also 5,000 attack points stats. Chajinuk gets very surprised because he did not knew that All Master was a class name. The system tells him, do you want to use All Master as your class? But Chajinuk does not want to have All Master as his primary class. He still wants to be a necromancer, so that's gonna be his primary class. He says to the system, can you put All Master as a subclass? The system responds, I am unable to do that. And Chajinuk gets surprised and asks why. The system says you can only have a subclass after you go to the 100th floor. Right now, subclass is locked. Chajinuk thinks to himself, he can use his achievement points to unlock the subclass because he'd done that before from his previous life. He asks the system, can I use my achievement points to unlock the subclass? The system is very confused and asks how is a beginner aware of something like this. The system then explains with achievement points you are allowed to make changes on the system. Taji Nuke goes around saying to the system that there is no point of asking me how I know this. Using the 5,000 points to unlock my subclass slot, I assume it couldn't be impossible, and the system thinks. The system says it is possible, but the total amount of achievement points you need to unlock the subclass is 5,050, and you only have 5,000. You do not have enough accomplishment points currently to unlock the subclass. Chajinyu gets annoyed and says to Baal, I have to use you. Chajinyu then says, Pick of evil, Baal revealed his identity to talk to me, and I know there is an achievement for talking to a god for the first time. The system that says, achievement accomplished, you get 200 achievement points, accomplishment points. Baal immediately asks our MC, did I do good? And MC immediately responds, stop it. Stop being annoying. The system asks our MC, does he want to use his achievement points to open the subclass for the All Master? And Chajinyuk says yes. The system then tells him, congratulations, you have unlocked All Master as a subclass. Then the system tells him to destroy this floor so he can go to the next floor, the first floor. Chajinyuk smiles and says, why don't I start getting my revenge? And then destroys the floor. On the first floor, a group of people are being attacked by monsters, and from the looks of it, they are struggling. The monster jumps to attack them, and then all of a sudden there is a crack on the sky. He jumps from the crack. He spots the monster, saying, ah, my first prey. He kicks the monster's head in the ground and kills it instantly. He stands there and says, Kobold, it's been a while that I did not kill these monsters. He says to the monsters, if I devour you all, I wonder what I will earn. The other climbers are very surprised on how our MC just killed the kobold with one blow. He looks at the staff and says, wait, that's a class of a mage, but he defeated it with a kick. One of the members on the group says to our MC, why don't we partner up? It will be easier if we combine our powers. Our MC just looks at them and says, get lost. They get surprised, and our MC just turns and says, if you touch one of them, you will die. Understand? The other people get scared and runs away from him. The kobold gets ready to attack Chajinyuk. He looks at them and tells them, oh, you want to revenge your comrade? And the fight starts between our MC and the kobold monsters. He uses the staff, not as a magic staff, but to pin one of the kobold and instantly killing him. He looks at the last one and says, are you not going to attack me? But the other one is so scared, turns around and starts running away from charging you. At that point, he uses his mage powers to kill the last kobold. The system then comes in and says, welcome to the first floor. And our MC just looks at the system, you're a little too late. I already fought them. I'm looting them right now. Then the system opens a window saying you need to kill 10 kobold to go to the next floor. Chajin-ryuk looks at the achievement or the quest and says, I can kill 100 easily, but I would like to get the Slayer achievement of kobold, and for that I need to kill more kobolds. Then he goes around explaining, if you killed 1000 of one type monsters, you become a slayer of that monster. And that's an achievement. And he will get it right here with the kobolds. He looks at the corpse of the monsters and goes around saying, alright, let's eat them. And says, gluttony. And the kobold's soul gets eaten by our MC. After he ate the kobolds, the memory of those monsters rushes through him, and then all the strength and abilities of those monsters becomes his. His stats went up immediately. He looks at the stats and thinks, my stats went up by too much. The stats that I have right now are the same as a 10th floor climber. What is going on? The system then tells him, because he has all master, whenever his stats go up, all the stats from other classes goes up with it, and that multiplies his stats. All of a sudden, he gets to see the memory of one of the kobold that he killed. He sees that the kobold is trying to get some people out from a cage. And then he sees the kobold lord. Our MC goes around saying the kobold lord is the harbinger of a monster wave. I can get my Slayer achievement and farm at the same time. Then he goes around saying, if I want to face a wave of kobold, I need an army. Awake! All the kobold that was dead on the ground rises up, and they become monsters again. But this time, they are skeletons that is controlled by Chajin-ryuk. This is his main class, necromancy, and the system immediately congrats him about achieving his main class. He goes around saying, yes, I am a necromancer, but there is a hidden class in necromancer that I want to get, and I won't be satisfied without it. All of a sudden, one of the monster, skeleton, that our MC Woken looks on the other side. He sees more kobold. He orders his skeleton soldiers to kill the kobolds. And just like that, our MC has more skeletons. He walks around the forest and finds a hut, and this is what he was looking for. He tells his skeletons to wait outside. He breaks the wooden floor to unveil an underground passage. He starts throwing his mana crystals that he got by killing the kobolds, monsters, on the ground of the stairs. And then he goes around explaining necromancy has a hidden class called the Spirit Master. And I need to get this class from the first Spirit Master. And this is where he slips. He also goes around saying that this is the class-changing coffin that no one knows about. He opens the coffin and a skeleton comes out. And that skeleton's name is called Vulcan. The skeleton says, are you my descendant?